So in this video, we'll be going through sinking fund. And I think the quick hack of understanding what sinking fund is just through a small diagram that usually in sinking fund will be giving a value of a car, truck, an asset of some that company or yourself you'll be wanting to buy. You'll be given the current value of that item. And this item experiences two things. One, inflation, meaning the price of it increases over time, the value of it increases over time, meaning it becomes expensive as the years go by. So this will be new item over X years, meaning that over time inflation, if you buy a car today with 200,000, after 5 years, the same car will be valued more due to something called inflation. And the used item as well, this item, it's no longer the same amount. The one you own now, it's no longer the same amount. It depreciates, and it has something called the scrap value. This is the value of it after X years due to depreciation. Depreciation eats away the value of it. Inflation makes sure that the new item is expensive. The difference is here, the item is new. After 5 years, for example, the scrap value is how much the item is worth to being used for 5 years. That's the scrap value. So the difference between what the item is worth after X years new item and what it is when it's used after 5 years, the difference of the new item and the scrap value of the same item, it's what I call the sinking fund value. This is the sinking fund value, because usually if you set up a sinking fund, what you're doing, it's a smart way of saying, I own this current car now, BMW now, but in 5 years I want to replace it, so I need to know how much it's worth new in 5 years so that I can trade in my old one, which is the scrap value, and the difference will tell me how much I need to save up future value to be able to afford that amount, but I start saving today while I own the current car. In essence, that's what sinking fund is. So I'll be elaborating more on this diagram. If you have a schematic idea of this diagram and have a memory picture of it, it will help you understand all sinking fund questions. So let's get right onto it. We're dealing with sinking fund here. They're telling us that Inspireworks bought a printing machine that is worth $500,000. They expect to replace this machine with a new machine after 6 years. Okay, 6 years time. Let's make note. The rate of depreciation annum on reducing balance, whilst the cost of the new equipment escalates by 15%. So what are they saying here? They're saying something similar to what we've just discussed. So new equipment, this company, 500,000. They're saying they want to buy new equipment after 6 years, but they're saying the rate of escalation, inflation, is 15% annum, and they're saying the rate of depreciation is 20% annum. So you can see it depreciates faster than it appreciates, meaning that it will lose value more than it is really expensive, meaning that you're going to pay more for it. So that's what they're telling us. The first question they ask us, what is the scrap value of this machine in 6 years time? Scrap value, remember, it's the value there. That's the scrap value. So we're going to use what? Depreciation to calculate how much it depreciated by and what's the value of it. Depreciation, straight line method. A is equals to P, 1 minus I to the power of N. The easiest way to remember it, it's the same formula as compound interest, but the difference is that it has a minus instead of a plus. So we have 500,000, 1 minus the interest. Rate of depreciation is 20%. So we can take our 20%. What do? We divide it by 100. 20% divided by 100. It should give us 0.2. So we get 0.2 Is it compounded per annum? Yes. Multiplied by 1. They said after 6 years. Then times 1. Then we need to get our scrap value to be 131 based on my calculator. 131,072. It means this machine that was worth 500,000 in 5 years time, it will be worth 6 years time, it will be worth 131,072. That's what the value of that machine is when it experiences depreciation. The next question is saying, what will the Inspire Books replacement of this machine if the old machine is traded in? What will the cost of Inspire Books to replace this machine? So the replacement cost. Firstly, we need to calculate how much this will be worth new in 6 years time, right? And then we can be able to calculate how much the difference between the new and the old scrap value, it will be able to determine what the replacement cost is over there. Let's go ahead and find how much it will be worth accounting for inflation. It will be A is equals to P 1 plus I compound interest, which will be 500,000 or 500,000. 1 plus interest is 15%. We divide that by 100, which will be 0.15, and it's compounded what? Per annum, which is over 1 half 6 times 1. And we see that the value of this would have doubled. It will be 1,156,530 on my calculator, comma 38. That's how expensive this machine will be now when it's bought new after 6 years. So this machine will be 1,156,530 or 38. So to get the difference now, it will be what the replacement cost, because they trade in this old machine here, scrap value, and they subtract what it will be worth. Let's calculate the difference of that. So to calculate that scrap value, we're going to say replacement. The replacement cost 1,156,530 or 38 minus 131,072. So therefore the replacement cost will cost 1,025,458.38. That's what really they need to start saving up for in 6 years time to be able to afford the same machine after 6 years. Let's move on to the next question. Let's write this replacement cost. This replacement cost will come in very, very handy, which is 1,025,458.38. So that's the value. They say Inspire sets up a sinking fund to cover the replacement cost of the new machine. The replacement cost of the new machine reaches 1,025,458.38. They're saying payments are made into a banking account, paying interest of 18%. So interest 18% per annum. But these are now compounded monthly. We should divide by 12. Find the value of the monthly installments if payment starts at the beginning of the month. Oh, remember, beginning of the month needs to be multiplied by 1 to the power of I and n. So we need to quickly do that. Let's not forget that, because we learned that in the future value topic. So let's try and set it up. What do we need to do? We write down our formula, which is future value because they have to set up a sinking fund, right? And this is future value. They're doing it for the future, so we need to use the future value formula. It will be 1 I to the n minus 1 square bracket 1. But remember, it's paid at the beginning or immediately, so we have to include that 1 extra month that the money will earn interest in. So let's go ahead now and try and solve for this. So we're going to go ahead and try and make space to be able to work. So what we have now is the future value. What are we saving for? Remember that replacement cost. So we go ahead and substitute 1,025,458.38. We're looking for the monthly installments. 1 plus the interest is 18%, divided by 100 give us 0.18 compounded monthly, the power of. And how many years is this replacement cost going to happen? It's after 6 years, right? Same as the inflation rate and the depreciation rate, minus 1. And we have to multiply this by that immediate payment that gives the money extra interest to earn, which is 0.18, all divided by 12 to the power of 1, all divided by the interest 0.18, all divided by 12. Then what are we solving for? We are solving for x. So as we usually do, cross multiply all these values. Then we're going to have x 1 plus 0.18 all divided by 12, 6 by 12 minus 1 times 1 plus 0.18 all divided by 12 by 1 is equals to 0.18, 12 times that 1,025,458.38. And then if you can see it, it would be amazing as to what we need to do now. We just need to divide everything on the left hand side by all of this and divide the right hand side by the same. So this will be dividing that over there, and this will be dividing that over there. And on the left hand side we'll only be left with x is equals to 0.18 over 12 times 1,025,458.38 divided by, as I said, financial maths becomes a bit tedious because you have to be rewriting the same things over and over again in a different format, but that's the cost of excellence. Times 1 plus 0.18 over 2 to the power of 1. And our x value, our monthly repayment, if I punch this into the calculator, I get 7,888.24, which will be our monthly installments, so that we set up a sinking fund to be able to afford this machinery that costs 1,025,458.38 in 6 years' time.